Elizabeth is a South Sudanese refugee currently living in the Nyumanzi refugee settlement in Adjumani district.
I've been in Nyumanzi since 2019 up to date as a refugee. I'm staying here with my family, my mom and the rest of my siblings. I remember when I first came to this settlement, I had that notion. People have been saying South Sudanese are stubborn, they like fighting. So when I first came here, I could see people fighting and I ignore because I know that is who they are. But after some time, I thought to myself, like, who could be the solution? And after we went for the training for the first time as peace mediators, I didn't take up the role because I knew these people, no matter what you do, they will always be what they are.
She says most of the conflicts within her community are tribal in nature. She prides in being a champion of conflict mitigation, mediation, and resolution.
But I took it upon myself and said, maybe I could be that change that was longed for. So I took up the role. And what we do as peace mediators, one, when you find there are people in conflict, you first have to stop the fight and then later on do peace mediation as the means of reconciling the two parties.
And we've been working on mediation and conflict resolution with Women Peace Mediators and peace builders at a district level. And we've really seen that where these peace mediators have been supported with the tools and knowledge required, they've been actually brokering peace in the districts they've been working in. So for example, in Karamoja, we've been seeing women peace builders going across the border into Kenya and brokering peace across the borders. That has really led to key outcomes on peace building.
Government of Uganda committed to the UN Security Council Resolution 1325, which calls for inclusion of women's voices in peace processes and all levels of decision-making, among other things.
We first identified women in these communities, assessed their level of understanding of mediation, peace building, stakeholders engagement, and then we developed a training manual to suit those needs. One, to achieve the project objectives, but for us to be able to put the women in a position where they could take initiatives to mediate.
To promote women's increased participation in peace building and recovery planning processes, the project built the capacity of women in various categories in leadership, conflict early warning, conflict analysis, mediation, and resolution.
We also trained some of them as monitors to monitor conflicts, identify it, and document it. And then we trained a few of them as conflict analysts. Because one thing is to identify that conflict is going to happen. The other is to be able to monitor it, to see the trend and where it is leading. The other aspect is to be able to analyze, and give report. So we provided them with those skills. For them to be able to engage with the peace committees, we then also trained the peace committees because some of them were not in existence at the time. Some of them were in existence, but they were not functioning. So we strengthened them by training them on mediation so that when the women peace mediators brought in any incidents, they will know how to mediate.
In 2020-2021, women peace mediators have handled 1,401 conflict cases. 85.6%, that is 1,199 cases, were resolved through counseling and mediation. 14.4%, that is 202 cases, were referred to authorities for further redress.
If we looked at percentage, they did more than 75%. Because at 75%, you see women mostly, by the grace of God, they are very honest. And the army, the security officers who would be interrogating other people would actually work with them, whereby they would be able to get information that would help them to be able to release those who were innocent. First thing, that women don't raid. So there was no chance that they would be telling you a lie. 2, women are the best beneficiaries of peace. And during any conflict, it is the women who suffer more because the men are always not there. So they were very keen to ensure that peace prevails. The women were very considerate on even their own men who were absent during some of the meetings, which would mean that they were very interested in ensuring, in convincing them to come. Whereas in other committees where they had fewer women, you would not be sure of whom you are talking to, because in some of the peace committee teams which did not have, we also were surprised that some of our members of the peace committee were killed when they were actually had gone for cattle rustling. So there was a very big difference, because one, fasting would be received very well, and the peace women were not suspicious on our activities.
It is evident that the Women Peace Mediators continue to play a vital role in mitigation, mediation, and resolution of conflict within their communities, and as such, they are key stakeholders in peace-building process.
We're going to be working with these young women peace builders in areas in Uganda that have experienced challenges around violent extremism, and working with them to prevent and detect violent extremism, as well as looking for opportunities for young people to maybe go back into education that have lost that opportunity, or to find opportunity for livelihoods as well.